This is my slideshow on experiment 2, amount of water in popcorn. So my hypothesis was I think that popcorn's going to have 25 water composition on like an average. I think that like 25% is not too high of a number, but it's also not super low. I think it's a good medium point to like say that like this is where it's going to be. So my constants and variables. So the constants are the number of kernels in each experiment, which is 20. The method of massing them before and after popping is the same with the same scale, being in the same measurements, everything like that for all of the experiments are the same. And the accepted water percentage, which is 13.5%. And the variables are the mass of the kernels before popping because every kernel is going to be different. The number of unpopped kernels was also a variable because in all the experiments the number was different. The mass of the unpopped kernels and the mass of the popped kernels were both variables. The percentage of water and percent errors were also variables. So here's experiment 1. Of the 20 kernels, the mass was 5.3 G. One kernel did not pop. So the mass of kernels that didn't pop was 0.25, making the mass of the kernels before popping minus the one that didn't pop, 5.05. The mass of the kernels was 4.75, making the mass of water in the popcorn 0.3, which gave us a percentage of water in popcorn to be 5.66% water. This led to a percentage error of 58.2%. Here in experiment 2, the mass of the kernels was 6. 5 kernels did not pop, making the mass of kernels that did not pop 1.5. Therefore, subtracting the ones that didn't pop from the 6 gives us a 4.5. The mass of kernels was also 4.5, leaving us to a mass of water in the popcorn to be 1.5. The percentage of the water in the popcorn was 25%, giving us a percentage error of 85.19%. And here in experiment 3, the mass was 5.1, with 2 kernels that did not pop, giving us the mass of ones that did not pop, 0.6, giving us another mass of 4.5 of both kernels before popping minus the ones that didn't pop and the mass of the kernels that did, giving us a mass of the water in the popcorn to be 0.6. This led to the percentage of water in the popcorn being 11.78% and the percentage error only being 12.89%. So the main observation that I had was the variations of water content between each experiment. They weren't very similar. It was always going to be different. It was hard to like figure out how that was. The variations in each water thing were always changing. So my conclusion is, while my hypothesis was proven in experiment 2, the overall results that we see need more precise measurements with improved controls to collect more accurate data. With this being said, adding more kernels to each experiment or even doing more experiments would prove to be helpful in finding a more accurate set of data. So 2 errors that I saw was that there was an inconsistent popping due to the moisture content of each kernel, and this also meant that there was a loss of water when the popcorn cools because it is losing its water when it cools down. And an improvement that I see that could be very useful is to increase the sample size of the experiment. The larger the number of the samples gives you a more broad range of what they could be, giving you a better way to, like, a more accurate way of answering your questions. And for question 1, I said that my percent errors were on the larger side. 1 out of the 3 of the experiments had a low number, being 12.89%. while both other times were both way over 50%. Well, not way over, but they were over 50%, one being 58.2 and the other one being 85.9. Question 2, I said that the percentage of water would decrease as you included the unpopped kernels in the calculation. This also means that there would be an increase in the percent error due to a larger difference from the accepted value. And yeah, that's all I have.